Welcome, welcome to another Journey Live. I hope you're having an amazing evening. Come and join us once again. Last show of the week. Tear. ¿Cómo están, amigos? Feliz viernes. Buenas noches. Espero que estén muy bien. Únanse a nosotros en miamitv.com o donde sea que nos estén viendo. Bienvenidos. Vamos a estar abriendo nuestros chats en este momento para leerlos y empezamos con el programa. We are going to be opening our social media chats right now if you guys want to interact live. And I always give priority if you have a topic or a question when we're live. So take advantage of that, guys and girls. When I say guys, it's generic, okay? Don't hold me to it. Happy Friday. It's a Friday, you know. Hello, welcome members. We do have the chat open for members. If you guys want to interact there and you are a member of Miami TV, you have that VIP. Okay, FYI. So if you notice, if by any chance you notice a bunch of paint on me, you know, I took a shower just now, but I'm painting the cabins here in the jungle, and it's, you know, it's like you're a little kid, right? Like all of a sudden you got these huge buckets of paint and a huge canvas, so you could do anything in, and you know, it's yours, so you can literally, like, no rules. So I'm going with some beautiful sunsets. If you ever come visit, you'll see them. It's gonna take some time, maybe a month or so, into actually doing 4 different sunsets, but I think it's going to be worth it. And of course the paint, you know, it's good, but it makes no sense that I keep doing my nails, but yeah. Hello from Palm Springs. Hi Lenny. Hey Joey. Oro, bienvenidas. Cada día te pones más ropa. Sí, voy a venir y la próxima voy a estar tapada hasta acá, mira. Pues si no te gusta, no lo mires. Es así de simple. Hola hermosa, ¿cómo estamos, Kaiwan? Gosh, someone has nicked your plants where they're gone. My plants are just fine. How is everybody on the path of the hurricane, by the way? Are you guys, you know, I know I mean, the last time I checked on Twitter, there was some devastating floodings. So I really hope that if you were in the path of Helena, that you are safe. Everything material, I know it's easy to say and hard to go through, but you know, you can recover and bring back. So it's going to be sad, but the most important thing is your life, right? Everything else, well, if you did it once, you could do it again. Don't worry. All right, so stay strong, and hopefully you guys will have power soon and the waters will leave soon. I saw some videos of, when I passed through Cancun 2 days ago, I saw some videos of crocodiles or alligators actually being on, you know, inside of the pools of the hotels. That must have been fun, yeah, and hopefully you weren't in one of those hotels. All right, guys, welcome. Let's go ahead with our topics for today. Every day more beautiful. Thank you. All right, loves. Hello, Palm Springs. Can we go down just to read the last comments and then we can begin? Eres especial, gracias. Mayor Adam pleaded not guilty this morning. I know you're following the news. I haven't seen the news in a while, so but I heard something about a mayor, and yeah. So whoever is guilty, you know, they'll pay for it. Okay. Let me see. Let's read this one. Organisms created by laboratory are something called a third state beyond life and death. Scientists say biobots arise from the cells of dead organisms. Over the past several years, scientists have repeatedly demonstrated that the cells of various organisms can be repurposed into biological robots. That's scary, just to think about it. Let's say, representing stunning advancements in the field of synthetic biology. Some types, like anthrorobots, used human cells that could self-assemble into small, hairy structures capable of moving by themselves. That's even more scary. So it's like, oh, we can create a virus, and it's not at all natural. Do you think that some of the viruses that have come about in you know, our planet in the past couple of decades have maybe been generated by humans? Hurricane Helen wasn't too bad here in Beaufort County, South Carolina. Well, good for you. Just a lot of debris. Are you sad that the summer's over? I didn't even know that the summer's over. I'm painting a sunset, so for me it's always summer. Remember, I'm in the tropics, so either Miami or Tulum, we have calor all year. Buenas noches, ¿cómo estamos? Bienvenidos. Saludos, Cuba, ¿cómo estás? Hola, June. Eres lo máximo desde Cuba. Extraño ir a Cuba, la verdad. Saludos, bendiciones a todos. ¿Cómo está la situación? ¿Está mejor? ¿Cómo van? Okay. Going back, others like xenobots are a bit freakier. How can we get freakier? Others like xenobots are a bit freakier. Scientists created these from the cells of already dead frogs, poor frogs, which seemingly cheated death by remaining capable of performing simple tasks and even self-replication. So it's like a virus, right? Okay, I get it. Now, in a new review published in the Journal of Physiology, researchers are contemplating the implications of taking cells from organisms dead or alive and essentially turning them into machines with totally new functions. Namely, that this point to a biological third state, one doesn't neatly fit into the categories of life and death. So it's kind of like an in-between, right? You can create something that had a living cells and create something, whatever you want from it. That is freaky. The third stage challenges how scientists typically understand cell behavior. And then there's a really long essay about this. So they can literally create living robots. This is like a next stage generation of living robots. Is this what we would call nanobots, right? Like they can give it a purpose and it can be part of your body and it can actually heal you. Like if you get these nanobots in your body and there's something wrong with an organ, they'll actually go attack whatever's attacking that organ and fix it. Would you do anything like that? Would you implement any of these nanotechnologies or things that have come from a dead frog into your body? I think it's interesting. I think it's scary because if you think about it, if we start to think at everything that has ever been invented for humans in today's generation, right? Because I feel like even like food, right? It started with great ingredients, and this goes together with something that JFK Jr. actually posted a video on, where he was showing how, like, for example, Doritos or a bunch of it is nanobots. Ooh, okay. Just to say an example, right? But a bunch of really popular brands back in the day when they just launched were just like regular ingredients, like food ingredients, and today they have like 3 times the amount of ingredients, and a lot of them are, they provide cancer, or not to say that Doritos does that, but they have ingredients that apparently have been known to cause problems in all sorts of locations in the body, to not be specific. So it's like, when you think about it, if we were maybe in a stage where we could trust corporations, right? Like hospitals or technologies that come about, like, oh, hey, there's a new treatment for cancer. And you're like, oh, wow, that's amazing. But when you know that there's so many people that have come out with an actual cure for cancer and they've been murdered, then you start just kind of wondering. So when all this technology comes about and they're like, we are coming up with new nanorobots so we can heal you from the inside out. And then it's like, yeah, I'm sorry, who are you? Why should we trust you? Like, it's just, I feel like we're in this stage where it's absolutely not trustworthy to trust technology that's been created for the best, interest of humans. Just because I don't feel like nobody's really proven themselves to say, nor large corporation has actually proven themselves to say, we have a product that is 100% safe for human consumption, and it's not going to harm you whatsoever. And again, we're talking about the large corporations, right? But then again, who's going to be able to come up with something like this, like a nanorobot? It's not going to be just somebody in their backyard. It's going to be large corporations. So I would prefer to stay natural, I guess we could say. No chemicals, no external body parts. But that's not probably how we would feel if there was a loved one that was suffering from something that can heal from it, of course. But me particularly, no, keep those nanorobots out of me. And, natural treatments, stuff like that, great, yes, let's do it. But anything having to do with technology inside of my actual body, for some reason, I feel like eventually it's going to be used against you in some way or another. Watch the movies, guys. It's freaky how much truth is in the movies. I hear that some people have cured cancer, but they will not let it out because they lose money on it. But not shots, if that is true. Not sure if that's true or not. Just saying that is absolutely true. Of course that's true. Come on. It's been years and generations that people have come out with cures for cancer. But the thing is that everybody's different. So a cure, even natural cures, like things that could be a cure for you, it might not necessarily work for somebody else, okay? Because every organism is different. But at the end of the day, then you have people, other scientists and experiments that they're doing saying that, for example, I think one person said like cancer is parasites. Another one said cancer is acidity in the body. I think all of these things make sense. At the end of the day, who are you going to believe? Like, who are we going to believe? I will believe anybody that hasn't gone through their 8-year course of medicine in the States. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. But I feel like it's a commercial thing. And, you know, I've been watching, I didn't know it was a series. I don't like watching series because you get caught up in it and they make them so good that you want to continue watching. So it's like a movie that never ends. And it's like, it reminds me of the telenovelas, right? Back in the day when Americans or any others but Hispanics, right, didn't do anything but movies. You had the telenovelas, which basically went forever. They went for months. And so series aren't really new. They've always existed. It's just that, well, now it's popular and movies are no longer a thing. So there's I can't remember the name. A ver, quizás Enrique se acuerda de la serie de doctores. There's a series of doctors, okay? And it's trending in Netflix. I'll get the name and let you know. But they're basically exposing how the medical system actually works, which I'm really surprised that Netflix allowed it in because it's really, really well made. But it's also very much exposing the truth behind things. Like, for example, they'll say, oh no, like they'll have a marketing person in the hospital, right? Because the series take place in the hospital and it's interns. It's interns, people that are learning, and then you have God, I can't remember. My mind is not in doctors today. Why is the chat moving? You have the doctors and then the ones that are practicing to be doctors, right? So the new ones that have just come in. So they'll bring this like marketing person in the hospital and says, this is how much the hospital has spent a year. We are millions, you know, that's how much we need to cover. So they teach everybody. There's actually like a little bit of economy there, and they'll teach the doctors, this is whatever somebody has, you're going to upgrade them. And everybody's looking at her like, what? And you're like, yeah, you're basically selling up to them. So if you go in for like, I don't know, a CAT scan, or you go in because you have a broken hand and they just have to scan your hand, they'll say, oh, just, you know, while you're here, I see that your legs are swollen. We should do a whole MRI to make sure, you know, nothing's wrong, or your stomach. Saying stupid things. I know nothing about medicine, but you know where I'm getting at, right? And that is very, very true. Then they touch the topic on cancer. I'm only into like maybe the fifth episode of it, but it's like, oh my God, like I liked it because of that. I'm like, man, they're really throwing crap at the medical industry. And then you have the good doctors saying, well, you know, the ones that really do stay in here, you do have to cover your expenses of how expensive it was to study being a doctor. So that's the number one thing, of course. And the second one is that they are actually obligated to keep the surgeon rooms always busy. The surgery room cannot be empty. Did you know that? So I always tell you guys that we have a really good friend that has a clinic in Miami, and she tells us some horrific stories. But then we have a personal story in the sense when Enrique got bladder cancer years ago, it was the first 2 doctors that he got that I realized that, wow, this is a huge scam. Because the moment the guy said to him, this was at Mount Sinai, the guy said to him, oh, we have to operate, you know, the tumor's, you know, this big, and we have to go to surgery. And it was the second surgery. And I said, no, we're not doing surgery anymore. And he hated me. This doctor hated me. Like, you could have seen steam coming out of his ears. And so 10 minutes passed by, him trying to seduce us to that we needed that surgery, until when he saw that we weren't bending, he said, fine, I can remove it, you know, here, just without anesthesia, with one of those like cystoscopy things. Oh, that made me so angry. because they have ways of doing things simpler, but they don't cash up as much. So a lot, and I'm not going to say all of them, but a lot of doctors, unfortunately, I think, have been in the game for so long that they get to the point where the commercial part comes first and the wellness of the patients comes second. And it's mainly because, well, they have to pay a lot of debt because of the school, and they're pressured by the hospitals that they need to make money. So it's like going to an aesthetic, clinic, and it's like you go in for, I don't know, Botox, and they end up selling you eyebrows lifting or something. So everybody's always trying to, push, push, push. Joey, I am not, but I never left the jungle, so didn't feel I needed. I think the government is hiding it, and that there have been many cures for cancer. Oh yeah, absolutely, all over the world. I mean, can you imagine the millions in this series? By the way, they also talk about that, and they say the number one money-making machine in hospitals is cancer. Period. So this is a series, but this is also true. So that's why I was shocked, and I was like, wow, they're really throwing dirt at the medical system. But I think it's necessary because, come on, they could make money out of so many other things. Then there's other people saying that, for example, the only thing that chemotherapy works for is for breast cancer and nothing else, and it hasn't been shown that it's been successful in any other kind of cancers. That, like I say, I'm not a doctor. I don't know. These are all just internet rumors. But what I do know is that I will never, over my dead body, have, if I ever, which I'm not, but if I ever did have cancer, or somebody I loved had cancer, I would not let them through those machines. I mean, you're definitely harming yourself more than you're healing, and it's better to take a chance with maybe homeopathic medicines that are not going to have a secondary effect, or other kind of options that don't have to deal with those kind of treatments. They also showed that another really high-making money machine is the hospitals that are made for cancer research. Okay, so you have no, it's not Grey's Anatomy. It's a new series on Netflix. No, it's not Grey's Anatomy. Oh my God, I can't believe you guys are gonna make me look this up. Come on, nobody's seen a doctor's series that is new on Netflix? I'll let you know on Monday. I'll have the name for it, but it's pretty well played, actually. So of course, then you have the doctors that love what they do, and they push against the system. And that's something that they're showing in that series as well. Like they're saying, well, there's the one of us that are left that are just going against the corruption, just trying to do good by our patients and trying to help as many people as you can. So not everybody's the same. I just think the system is broken. The system is messed up. I mean, come on, we think about the US, and it's one of those places. Why do they even charge us for medicine? I mean, you go to Argentina and you go to a hospital and everything's covered. In a lot of places, the hospitals and nurses and treatments are completely free. So I think we pay enough taxes to be able to get free, medical system, don't you think? So that's a little silly. The cost of the surgery is very expensive to the hospital to make money. Oh yeah, for the surgery, because then of course they charge the insurance. For the surgery, it was $60,000, right? And for the cystoscopy that he ended up getting, it was like 15. So, yeah, you might imagine they're always going to upsell you. So, yeah, just keep that in mind. Be really careful in who it is that you do get as a doctor. Get reviews from people. Nowadays, nobody can hide. Of course, I left that asshole a horrible review in the Mount Sinai hospital. Well, not horrible, but I was just really blunt. Because when somebody's commercial like that, and they know the risks of a surgery, like you could die in a surgical room. You go in for one thing and you end up getting something else, or maybe never coming back. Especially for somebody older, like that was like, no, these kind of people cannot be. They can't. I don't know how they even allow them to be doctors. It's like when you don't put the patient's, wishes first and the patient's health first, and not the pocket and the money, then you shouldn't be allowed to wear any kind of tunic. Come on, get out of there. One day I dream of seeing you host a show in lingerie. I think I have actually, but that's never going to happen on YouTube. I think the only country in the UK that got an NHS free medication. I think we're the only country in the UK. Where are you, Justin? But yeah, nice. I think it's good, but everything comes back to our food, right? And what we consume and what we decide to put inside of our body, basically. So just try to go eat healthy, guys. Eat organic if you can afford it. And that's even silly to say if you can afford it, because I've noticed the prices on organic stuff is almost similar to the regular ones. It's not that much of a difference. And if you think about it, at the end of the day, that little money that you're saving because you're not buying stuff that's organic or things that are healthy for you instead of junk food, you're going to save it by not going to the doctor. So if you just start by being aware and having a conscience of what you're consuming, then we can all start there. I think this goes with what we were talking about yesterday in meditation. I think Brandon was talking about how if you want to communicate with aliens, right, you need to have a healthy body. And as silly as it sounds, you're not going to be able to have a proper meditation or a pure channel of energy if your body isn't healed. And normally, I per se don't believe that we're supposed to age. I know that sounds silly, but it's information that got to me in my meditation actually a couple weeks ago. And it was like, we're not supposed to age. We age because of the food that we're consuming, and our system is always working. We barely give our digestive system a break. It's always working. And the food that we're consuming isn't natural. So for the most part, it's going to age our cells. But not only that, the water that we drink, the air that we're exposed to, the chemicals that are out there, the chemtrails, by the way. No, it's not the good doctor. No. Come on, somebody else. Yes, chemtrails are real, and they have been proven to be real finally. And there's actually laws coming out in several states in the U.S. To prevent these. So, see? My dress is not a dress. This is my husband's shirts. Let's all say thanks to Enrique for getting a colorful shirt that I can wear. This is like it's like salmon, like a really bright salmon. It's actually the same color that I got today painting the cabin. This is my sunset color. I hope it's not what we know from about 5 years ago. Which one? The nano stuff? Howdy from Jersey. What's up, Jersey? How are you guys? Today's very relaxed, as you could see. Can we go up in the comments, please? No, down, I mean. Sorry. I'm just making sure I got all of you. Hello, Rick. How are you? Welcome. Hello, Canada. Let's see. Are you donating anything in regards to breast cancer in October, Jenny? I don't think I've ever been a part of anything that has to do with breast cancer, honestly. So I can't say that I'm going to. But I'm also not a big fan of supporting those any of campaigns that go for cancer, just because I know that it's all commercial, and I know that cancer is something that can be cured naturally. So yeah, cancer and me, just keep it away. Sí, solamente en inglés hacemos ahora. Keep getting distracted. I'm sorry. If I had CAT scans at UC Irvine in 1986 and again at UCLA in 1992, the first one showed up random numbers and they asked you which number was flashing. Okay. So that was like a different kind of CAT scan. And my cousin is having a colonoscopy in October. Toby is a woman. Oh, okay. Well, I hope for the best. Smoking ages you a lot. True, smoking too. So I like to think, I don't know, something came to my mind that was that if our bodies are 100% positive, right? So meaning your cells are always positive, your DNA is clean, everything in your body is 100% positive, no negativity, okay? Nothing that you're exposed to, nothing that you're being thrown at and your body's absorbing, okay? You have a power of being always healthy and healing. So I don't see it logical that you would age, honestly. And I know you're gonna say gravity, but same thing. I think that we could definitely defy all that if we were 100% positive, right? So we're talking about eating 100% organic and natural grown food, which is very difficult to do, but just saying. And then the aging process, basically, the more energy that you channel, right? If you're into meditation, if you're into the work and the manipulation of your sexual energy, for example, which is the youth factor, okay? The more you have that energy flow and a fast-moving energy flow, it basically goes back in time and rejuvenates you. So we have our own rejuvenation youth kind of system inside of our bodies. It doesn't mean maybe that you're never gonna age, but I don't think we're supposed to age like this fast. I think that humans are supposed to live for a really, really long time. It's just that everything's the opposite way. Like, we're not living in a planet that it's beneficial for us in any way, unfortunately, because of the people that are in control of the planet. But hopefully one day things will get back to how it should be. And I think that's the most important thing. Going back to our roots, going back to nature, going back to what we're supposed to learn, right? Which is basically that we're not here as just a physical matter, but we're here also in a spiritual reality that we don't necessarily see, but it exists. And the more connected we are with the spiritual world, the less I think that our physical body is harmed by it, or harmed by the things that we're paying attention to so much, like everything that's material and everything that's technological or chemicals, basically. So yeah, I think respira. No. ¿Cómo se llama? A ver si Enrique se acuerda. Enrique, ¿te acuerdas el nombre de la serie que empezamos a ver hace 2 días de los médicos? Los Residentes, The Residents. Okay, that's the name of it. So if you want to check it out, it is in Netflix. It's called The Resident. So it's basically the main character is this really handsome actor, and he's basically like really, really smart. So he's a resident, a little bit cocky, but he knows a lot. So yeah, check it out. The Resident? Okay, he's saying it's called The Resident. There you go. Check it out. American Big Brother. Do they still have something called, I was reading and it was moved. Can we go up, please? Do they have something called ecology as we had in the 1970s? Ecologies? I don't know. I think if I had cancer, I would look it up, the best way to stop it, and not what the doctors try and give you. I think it's always better to get second opinions, and every time there is more and more doctors that have graduated from their schools as regular doctors, and they realize how the system is, and they become homeopathic doctors because they hate the system. So most of the doctors, we all know this, they get into that because they love, they love helping and they love saving lives. But when you can save a life and you're telling the person, well, I'll run all these 25 tests for you just in case, but in the meantime, you probably get an infection or something happens along the way because they did something to you that you didn't necessarily need, then how do you not feel guilty about that? The thing is that they do this so much that I think they get cold about it. They get hardened. Their heart gets hardened, I think. Could you be in that situation, right, where you're a doctor and you're working in a hospital? You're very well known, and they say, well, if you don't do what we tell you, you're fired. Come on. And of course, hospitals have everybody sign an NDA, I'm sure. So you're not allowed to talk about what happens in closed doors. And another thing they say in that series, which is also 100% true, that's why I was surprised. I was like, wow, these guys are saying so much truth about the medical system. Wow. I feel like Netflix has really been throwing lashes at the medical system recently, because it hasn't been only this series. There was another documentary, and of course, I also can't remember the name, but there was another documentary, it's probably still available, I'll look it up and tell you guys the name, where they show a huge scam that happened in the 80s or something with pharmaceuticals and the way that drugs work. Doctors getting money under the table to go on vacation so that they can sell their drug, and so on and so forth. So yeah, I think Netflix is probably the only one that is airing this stuff, and I applaud them for it. That's why I only watch Netflix or some YouTube. So what was I saying about the other one? So yeah, it's unfortunate, but you can imagine that if you want to be in that world, then you got to play by their rules. If not, like they say, you'll never work in a hospital ever again. Could you give my shirt back to Enrique? He is getting a little cold. Let me think about it. You know what? I will in our member shows. So you can join us there after the show. American food has so much cancer-causing chemicals in how they are processed. Absolutely. And it's just a matter of, it's just a matter of investigating, guys. It's really not that big of a deal. I'm not saying like don't eat any junk food, don't eat anything that's chemical. I mean, come on, every now and then it's like, yeah, great. But if you're doing this like every day, if you're living out of McDonald's or if you're living out of any kind of fast food chain restaurant, then of course your body's going to suffer because they're not going to give you organic food. It got me thinking we need to open like 100% organic restaurant in Tulum or somewhere. But then I realized I don't want to be a cook. No, that's not going to happen. Don't listen to some people. You aren't sure what they talk about. Oh, you definitely got to be careful, of course. American food. Oh, read that. Okay. All right, my guys, my loves. We'll see you on Monday. We have a member show coming up for our members. Don't forget to subscribe in Miami TV, MiamiTV.com. I was going to say HD. That's our past website. And yeah. Nothing much important today, just basically touch and base. Check out the series. I think you'll love it. And I think it's going to give you a little bit of awakening when it comes to being smarter when you go to the doctor. And definitely, if you can go to a homeopathic place where you can try things that are natural, remember, there's an exaggeration for everything. So not necessarily is going to a homeopathic person going to heal you. All right. So just, be smart about it and try things that aren't going to give you secondary effects. And if that doesn't work, last case scenario, go for the medical system, treatments that they're giving you. But you got to try first, right? All right, guys. Love you. Have an amazing evening and see you Monday. Bye. And don't forget to join us in MiamiTV.com.